meeting following this historical victory and inauguration in January. I have a very warm recollection of working together in his first term in building a comprehensive global strategic partnership between India and the US. Remember, Prime Minister Modi will be visiting the United States on 12th of February after his France visit. Post the AI summit visit, he will be heading towards the US, where he will be on a 2-day visit there. Remember, this will be the first visit of the Prime Minister to the United States after President Trump having won a second term there in the United States. This, of course, is expected to boost the ties between India and the US, especially at a time when trade ties as well as tariffs have become the forefront of the conversation between India and the US, as well as the US in general when it comes to its relations with other countries, as Trump, after having come into power for a second time, has been signing orders back to back, especially those related to tariff. Even today he had signed, or he had announced a 25% tariff on imports of steel. So what this means for India and trade with India, of course, is yet to be seen. But as far as markets are concerned as well, it did cause quite an upheaval in the markets today as far as Trump's announcement is concerned. Now, Prime Minister Modi heading to US is a significant event that will take place on the 12th of February. We're expecting that the Prime Minister will be heading to the US. Remember, he's going to be emplaning for France shortly, where he'll be attending the AI Summit. The AI Summit is also, the AI Action Summit, in fact, is also going to be chaired by the Prime Minister along with French President Macron. Now, the Prime Minister in his statement, of course, says that he will be exchanging views on collaborative approach. He's also said that AI tech is for the larger public good. Now, he's, of course, made these statements ahead of the AI Action Summit where he's heading to. My colleague Aishwarya joins us with more details. Aishwarya, take us to the latest as far as the Prime Minister's foreign visit. He has made a statement ahead of his visit to France, and then he'll be heading to the US as well.
Well, that's right. At the invitation of President Macron, he will be visiting to the France from 10th to 12th of February, and Prime Minister's statement has just come after before the departure, and to the two countries, France and USA, of course. Prime Minister has stated that he is looking forward to co-chair the AI Action Summit, a gathering of the world leaders and global tech CEOs, where he will be exchanging views on collaborating approach to AI technology for innovation and larger public good.
Collaborating approach to AI technology for innovation and larger public good.
He would be proceeding on a 2-day visit to the United States at the invitation of President Donald Trump as well. He clearly mentioned in his departure statement that he's looking forward to meeting his friend President Trump, although this will be his first meeting following an historic electoral victory and inauguration in January, and this is a warm recollection of working together in his first term in building a comprehensive global strategic partnership between India and the United States. So clearly it is going to be a historic tour of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to these two countries, France and the United States. As far as France is concerned, India will be co-chairing the AI Action Summit, and also later to the United States, where President Donald Trump had sent an invitation to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and after the historic mandate that President Donald Trump got, it would be the first such meeting of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the United States President.
Right, Aishwarya. Now, in terms of the AI Action Summit as well, it's of course coming at a time when India is stepping into the AI race, and AI is in the forefront of technology. When we're talking about any field, AI is being incorporated. So, India, of course, being on the forefront, being an important leader in this summit is quite significant.
Well, certainly, and remember the government's vision of being the global hub for the artificial intelligence.
Well, certainly, and remember the government's
announced that
vision
of
the
excellence of artificial intelligence that would be soon incorporated in the country as well. And the bilateral segment of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit will provide an opportunity to review the progress of 2047 Horizon Roadmap for India-France strategic partnership, along with his friend President Macron as well. It has been also stated that during the co-chairing of the AI Action Summit, there would be several world CEOs, global tech CEOs, world leaders who will be interacting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. But apart from it, he will be also traveling to the historic center of Marseille to inaugurate the first Indian consulate in France and also visit the International Thermonuclear Experimental. India is a member of the consortium of partner countries, including France, to harness energy and for the global good as well. So this is going to be a very historic one. In fact, it will be also paying tribute to the Indian soldiers who laid down their lives during the World War I and World War II at the war cemetery as well. So it's going to be a historic one, as India is going to co-chair the AI Action Summit on the invitation of President Macron, and after which departure to the United States for a two-day tour as far as meeting with Donald Trump is concerned. Remember, this is the first such meeting of Prime Minister Narendra Modi after Donald Trump being elected as the President of the United States.
Right, Aishwarya, stay on with us. We have some more news coming in.
ट्रेडर्स नेवर एवर यूज स्टॉप लॉस। जी हाँ, आपने बिल्कुल सही।
Topmost priority. This time around, NSA Ajit Doval is actually traveling. So ever since there was the court litigation that opened up proceedings on the Panu matter, and they wanted to question Ajit Doval, that was during the Biden administration. Now Ajit Doval is actually traveling to the US. So clearly there is a shift in the entire equation and the posturing. But will that yield results? That's the big question. What's on the agenda? Our Security Affairs Editor Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us more details. The idea is actually to strengthen Make in India with new technologies. Government sources have further said that the Indian side is very keen to buy technology which can serve Make in India. Major deals are expected during this, which will be beneficial for Bharat in the long run and satisfy the joint manufacturing push that's being made by Donald Trump. So beyond just the trade and the tariff aspect of it, will there be other aspects, the security aspect, the defense aspect? Professor Salvatore Babones, American sociologist with us, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, political commentator and scientist with us, and Sushant Sareen, senior fellow ORF with us. My namaste to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Professor Babones, my first question to you. Two leaders who are interested in making their nation great. So there is MAGA and Make in India, two objectives. Are they able to work together? Will they be able to come together to find common ground? They're great friends, but is it possible for these nations to work together, or will there be a clash of intent, aspirations?
It seems to be relatively easy for nationalists to work together because they understand each other. And now by that, I don't just mean Narendra Modi and Donald Trump, but really strong nationalists of all stripes seem to be able to come to a mutual understanding that each one realizes that the other one's looking out for his or her own country. And they're comfortable with that. They're okay with that. So if you saw, even when Donald Trump in his first administration was dealing with someone as difficult as Kim Jong-un, they could understand each other even if they disagreed. Now, Narendra Modi is going to be much easier to get along with than Kim Jong-un. Isn't that much of a problem because both expect the other to want to preference their own side. Both of them expect the other to be tough negotiators who want what's best for their own country, and this is crucially important,
Right.
both of them want to get along.
So two leaders who want to get along, so they're going to come across onto the table. Sushant, Sarit, there are two objectives, both of them wanting to further their nation's interests. They have great equations. So let's take this conversation forward. What is it that Bharat can offer as a bargaining chip, the upper hand? Can we push on the defense deals? Can we also look at somewhere certain connections on security improving? Because America needs Bharat here in this region if we need to counter China.
Anand, I think both America needs India and India needs America. I don't think we should get into this zero-sum kind of an approach. I think both sides need each other, and I think there is a understanding on both sides that there are a lot of convergences which need to be built upon. Now there will be certain issues between any two big countries. Tariffs is a kind of a bee in the bonnet of President Trump. So yeah, he's going to be a little obsessed with it. He's going to demand something. I'm sure there is a lot we can do about it, because some of the tariff regimes in India are kind of really weird and wacky, and unnecessarily protectionist, because we also need to become much more competitive. So just raising these high tariff walls doesn't really work very well for our industry as well. And to some extent, yes, there will be some areas in which we will resist. If Mr. Trump wants to impose certain tariffs, fine. But what can we do about it? So I think we also need to be a little thick-skinned about how things are going to go. But look, his other the other bee in his bonnet is on trade deficits. On that, again, the convergence is, for example, if he wants to drill, then we are willing to buy oil wherever we get it cheaper. How does it make a difference? One. So we kind of bring down the trade deficit with him. What Trump needs to understand is that, look, you can't have a balanced trade with every country in the world. There will be some imbalances. And India's imbalance of trade with the US is not of the predatory nature like it is with China.
Right.
So what we can do is we can increase our imports on a range of issues. So, for example, the technological imports that we make from the Americans.
Right.
There's a lot of defense trade which is taking place. Perhaps India can become a kind of a defense production base for some of these companies, which works well for the Make in India thing. It works well as defense sales go for the US. And India can become a kind of a sector for supplying some of the other people, who take American stuff from India. There are a lot of workarounds to ensure that, this relationship keeps moving forward. But I think on the strategic domain, on the political domain, on the ideological domain, things are looking up. And last but not the least, a lot of people want India to interfere in this whole Russia crisis. But I think the Americans and the Russians are sorting it out themselves. If the president is talking to Mr. Putin and there is clarity of the sorts we've not seen over the last 3 years in the United States, that look, what has happened in Ukraine, just too bad, it's terrible, all of that is fine. But it's a given situation and there's nothing that can be done about it. So learn to live with a bad situation, which works well for us.
Right. Professor Babanis, just quickly, just getting before I go across to Dr. Ranganathan. Professor Babanis, tariffs.
One. Now everyone
setting up of factories and lower imports in the long run. Protectionism and high tariffs result in what they've always have. Resulted in a socialist trap that ultimately destroys a country's economy through less choice for consumers, outdated technology, increasing friction with countries, and higher prices because of lack of competition and rule of monopoly. Remember Ambassador cars and Campola? So we need to think carefully as to how India can traverse this tricky journey for the next 4 years, especially because finally we are seeing the face of new India. It's taken 10 years for Modi dispensation to stand up to Western bullying and to expose the hypocrisy on Ukraine. We have to stand up, Anand.
Right. We have to. And this is someone who's from his political lexicon, it's about protectionism. But he himself is a capitalist. He's only looked at expanding his business interest across the world, and he's a builder. So will then socio-capitalism somewhere come as an equation? Exactly what Bharat is also trying to do. Professor Babonis, one question. In Trump 2.0, there are a lot of Indian origin members. Also, there are a lot of Hindus. So the overall perception is that Trump 2.0 is far more favorable to Bharat. Is that a fair assumption to make?
First, let's be absolutely clear. Hindu Americans are Americans. They are not Indians. They may have Indian origin. They may have a better knowledge of India than other Americans would, but they're not in any way going to show favoritism towards India. Now, simply having a better knowledge of India is a really important factor because most American presidents, the entire American foreign policy establishment is very light on India. They still view India through the lens of India-Pakistan. They still view India to some extent through the lens of the Cold War or what has become a new Cold War with China. And they don't view India as a one-on-one relationship for the United States. Now that is changing, and the Indian Americans and Hindu Americans in the Trump orbit will play a key role in changing that and helping inform America. So I don't think India should look for any favoritism to come out of that, but a more sophisticated U.S. policy towards India, a U.S. policy towards India that realizes that India is not just a big rising market or the next global superpower, but that India is a country with interests, with its own foreign policy, with its own democracy. That is something that.
Well, I'm just going to take 30 seconds. I'm just going to take 30 seconds more here because we're going to have Jagdampika Palji and we'll have to move closer home on the domestic politics front. But Sushant Sareen, one big box that you would like ticked in this Trump-Modi meet in favor of Bharat?
No, I don't think there's any one thing which I put my finger on, but I just want to join issue on this whole tariffs thing. Look, tariffs, there has to be a balance in tariffs. If tariffs are too low, you destroy your own industry. If they're too high and too protectionist, you again destroy the competitiveness of your industry. So tariffs have to balance. Now, you can't have that the Americans have absolutely zero tariffs or very low tariffs, and other countries have tariffs which give a disadvantage to American industry, which has got deindustrialized. They can't even goddamn produce face masks, right? We saw that during COVID. They couldn't produce anything anymore. So I think there is something in what Trump is trying to do. Maybe he will overdo it. And maybe he needs to be told not to overdo it. And if that happens, it's a victory for us. To the extent it was hard on China, great for us. But I think we also need to, wake up, smell the coffee, and do certain reforms of our own so that we can benefit from the new dispensation in the United States.
Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Washington on a crucial two-day visit to the United States. He was welcomed.
AI लोगों की जॉब ले रहा है, आपने तो सुना ही होगा. अपने आप को अगर
all the updates coming in. Rohit, good morning. Power pack today ahead for you. Of course, the big talk is over the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. And just before that, President Trump putting out a post about reciprocal tariffs. That's got everyone here in India talking. I hope he's not referring to India.
Well, a very good evening to everybody in India. Yes, it is very, very important meeting. Today, it's going to be two words today, Akshita. It's going to be tariff and tarif, and I think we'll see both of them talked about a lot today in the meeting today. He already met with, Tulsi Gabbard. He's scheduled to meet with Elon Musk, another key, a very important figure in this Trump 2.0. He's not only a businessman, he has a federal position now. He's dismantling the US government, and it's a very, very important meeting with him because not only from a business standpoint, but politically and diplomatically, he has a lot of say in a lot of things, and we've seen that play out in the last 3 weeks. So another very important meeting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be Elon Musk, who obviously India wants him to come to India and invest in India, but also making sure that you stay in good books with Trump. You have to be in good books with Elon Musk. So that's another key meeting that will happen today. He's meeting with the incoming NSA, who invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he was a congressman to the capital to give that joint speech. So he was a former India caucus chair. So all great signs. We'll probably hear a lot about nuclear, energy, coal, oil, probably immigration, but the big word would be trade. And I think, when Trump posted on Truth Social this morning about reciprocal tariff, he wanted to set the stage for the day. He knows what he has lined up today. He's meeting with his friend, somebody on the campaign trail. He kept talking about how he adores Prime Minister Modi and his leadership and his strong leader. But at the same time, he's called him a tough negotiator. So I think what we saw from Donald Trump this morning was a negotiating technique to make sure that he's putting India a little on the back foot and making sure that everybody understands where he's coming from, because he has to drive a political message home as well.
I'm sure the Indian officials, the government was fully prepared for this, because with Trump, you never can quite say how much he would push for, and you have to be prepared essentially for any scenario. Let's talk about also the meeting that will be happening at 10 p.m. our time, Rohit, which is with Elon Musk. The last time a meeting happened between Prime Minister Modi and Elon Musk was in 2023, when you had Musk talking about how he's a big fan of Modi. Things have changed since then. You're not just meeting with the Tesla CEO, Starlink, X, all of that, but someone who's also key and integral to, the power corridors in America.
Absolutely. He has done a lot in last 3 weeks. And when I say he, I mean Elon Musk. He took over the Treasury payment system. He's dismantled U.S. aid. He's going after CFPB. I mean, he's doing a lot of things domestically and also ensuring that President Trump stays true to his agenda. So when it will come to key topics like trade, I'm pretty sure Elon Musk has, some of his opinions or arguments that he will make in that meeting. But then, as a businessman, he wants to bring Tesla to India. He wanted to set up that manufacturing plant in India. What a great opportunity to do it right now, right? I mean, when Donald Trump wants the business and trade to grow between India and the US, then also his other company, SpaceX, has gone on to talk about how ISRO has been successful. He's praised ISRO in the past, so he might want to also talk about that. So it's going to be a very, very interesting meeting between President Trump and Elon Musk. Very influential, not only, as I said, from business perspective, but also politically here in the US. Somebody, who has very strong opinion about things, and Elon Musk believes that, he's the right person to bring about change, not only here domestically in the US, but also globally.
Okay, it'll be interesting to watch really what are the takeaways from each of those meetings. Rohit, it's going to be a long day for you, a long night for us, so we'll keep connecting with you for all of those updates, the big takeaways from the Prime Minister's Big Bang visit to America. Thanks for the moment, Rohit, for joining us here on India Today.
Over the last 2 years, the unemployment rate among Indian Americans dropped by nearly 33 1/3%. Wages are rising, incomes are soaring, and inequality is falling at the fastest rate in many, many years. In the past 12 months alone, the average worker has taken home $1,000 extra in rising wages, and over $3,000 with tax cuts and all of the other things that we've done. And for the first time in history, most new hires of prime working age are minorities and women. First time that's ever happened. Through our pledge to America's workers, we have secured commitments for nearly 14 million employment and training opportunities for American workers done through our great American.
My triple R technique has helped more than 5 lakh people.
We slashed a record number of job-killing regulations, giving the average American household more than $3,000 every year. And never in the history of our country, no matter how long the presidency, have regulations been cut to this extent. Every day, the Indian American community is helping to strengthen our country and build our future. Indian Americans are pioneering groundbreaking medicines to save countless lives. They're developing revolutionary technology that is changing the world, and they're founding new businesses that provide jobs to thousands of our fellow citizens. Prime Minister Modi, I look forward to working with you to make our nations even more prosperous than ever before. And that's what's happening. The economic miracles taking place today are just beginning. Here in the United States, there has never been a better time to hire, invest, grow, and pursue your dreams. Indian companies employ tens of thousands of Americans across a range of industries, including American steel. In 2018, India's JSW Steel announced that it would invest up to $500 million to revitalize a shuttered steel plant in the great state of Ohio. And we welcome India's growing investments right here in the Lone Star State. Nations around the world are investing in the United States because they know we have the best economy and the best workers in the world. They have never invested in our country like they are today, and we want to thank everybody. And India has never invested in the United States like it is doing today. And I want to say it's reciprocal because we're doing the same thing in India. On Tuesday, two Japanese companies, Toyota and Acer, announced a combined investment of almost $800 million, which will create over 900 new jobs right here in Texas. At the same time, we are working to expand American exports to India, one of the world's fastest growing markets. We are committed to ensuring the Indian people have access to the finest goods in the world, products stamped with the beautiful phrase, "Made in the USA." And very soon, India will have access to another world-class American product, NBA basketball. Wow. Sounds good. That sounds good. Next week, thousands of people will gather in Mumbai to watch the first ever NBA basketball game in India. Am I invited, Mr. Prime Minister? I may come. Be careful, I may come. When it comes to expanding our commercial relationship, no issue is more important than energy security. For the first time ever, the United States is the #1 producer of both oil and natural gas on planet Earth, and #1 by far, with much of it coming right here from the great state of Texas. That means more jobs, higher wages, and lower prices at the pump. Yesterday, we were thrilled to hear about the Indian company Petronet's pledge to purchase up to 5 million tons of LNG per year from the United States, which could lead to billions of dollars of LNG exports to India in the coming years. And we have plenty of it. Over the last year, crude exports to India have grown by 400%, and liquefied natural gas exports continue to soar at record numbers. Thank you. These tremendous exports not only expand employment in America, but they increase freedom and security for India. To keep our nation safe, the United States and India are forging an even stronger security partnership. U.S. defense sales to India have also reached $18 billion over the past decade. We make the greatest defense mechanisms and equipment anywhere in the world, and India knows that well. We're looking forward to concluding several new defense deals very soon. There are a lot of them in the works. Here in America, we're creating the United States Space Force, and we're working closely with India to enhance space cooperation. In November, the United States and India will demonstrate a dramatic progress of our defense relationship, holding the first ever tri-service military exercise between our nations. It's called Tiger Triumph. Good name. Good name. Very good name. Today we honor all of the brave American and Indian military service members who work together to safeguard our freedom. We stand proudly in defense of liberty, and we are committed to protecting innocent civilians from the threat of radical Islamic terrorism. Thank you. Both India and the United States also understand that to keep our communities safe, we must protect our borders. Since taking office, my administration has launched a far-reaching effort to improve screening and vetting of applications for entry. We are working hard to ensure that those who would threaten our security are denied admission into our country, and we are enhancing our vetting efforts like never before, not even close. We're doing it on a daily basis, and we'll soon be setting records in every one of the aspects of border security. Border security is vital to the United States. Border security is vital to India. We understand that. And we are further taking unprecedented action to finally secure our southern border and stop illegal immigration. And I want to thank the President of Mexico, who right now has 27,000 soldiers on our southern border. It's been incredible what's taken place in a short period of time. Illegal immigration is deeply unfair to millions of wonderful legal immigrants who work hard, pay their taxes, follow our rules, and obey our laws. Yet there are those in Washington who would raid your health care to fund free benefits. They want to fund free benefits to those who enter our country illegally. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do it. Because if we don't do it, they won't come. I will never allow politicians to take away your health care or give it to illegal immigrants. My administration believes our first duty is to the highest loyalty of all. We must always be for the American people, whether it's African American, Hispanic American, Indian American. We are going to take care of our citizens first. We are going to take care of our Indian American citizens before we take care of illegal immigrants that want to pour into our country. We want to build a nation where every family immigrant and U.S. born can live in a safe community with access to great school, work in a job you love, and have the best chance to reach the American dream. We love the American dream. And just in concluding, I want to say that America has always been a nation of pioneers and patriots, risk takers and free thinkers, and dedicated workers who have honed a trade, mastered their field, and teach their children to always give their very, very best. Every day, Indian Americans help write this story of American greatness. And everyone here today has a crucial part to play in building an even grander and greater American and Indian future. To help achieve that exciting vision, we are strengthening our cherished bonds with the nation of India, and we are proving the awesome power of democracy and unlimited potential of free people. Together, we will continue to deepen the ties between our nations. We will honor the faith of dignity of our citizens, and we will achieve incredible advancements for our people.
मिसेस ने कहा अच्छी वाली छुरी अमेज़न से ऑर्डर कर दो, पर छुरी बिल्कुल सिर्फ मोबाइल ही नहीं, अमेज़न से बिना संकोच सब कुछ ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ मिले डिटेल डिस्क्रिप्शंस और हजारों वेरीफाइड रिव्यूज। संकोच को मुस्कान में बदलना हम जानते हैं, तभी तो है अमेज़न हर मुस्कान की अपनी दुकान।
हम मूंगफली बेचते हैं, अपना अकल नहीं। ये मैसेज देखिए, कहते हैं लॉटरी लगी है, लिंक क्लिक करके यूपीआई पिन डालो पैसा मिलेगा। अरे हमको मालूम नहीं है क्या, इधर यूपीआई पिन डाला उधर पैसा गायब। मूंगफली वाला हूँ, मूर्ख नहीं हूँ। याद रहे, यूपीआई कहता है अगर कोई लालच दे तो कहो मैं मूर्ख नहीं हूँ।
God bless you all, God bless India, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you. Now I would like to invite onto this stage in front of this incredible group of
Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Texas. Good morning, America. Greetings to my fellow Indians in India and around the world. Friends, this morning we have a very special person with us. He needs no introduction. His name is familiar to every person on the planet. His name comes up in almost every conversation in the world on global politics. His every word is followed by tens of millions. He was a a household name and very popular even before he went on to occupy the highest office in this great country. From CEO to Commander-in-Chief, from boardrooms to the Oval Office, from studios to global stage, from politics to the economy and to security. He has left a deep and lasting impact everywhere. Today, he is here with us. It is my honor and privilege to welcome here in this magnificent stadium and magnificent gathering. And I can say, I had a chance to meet him often. And every time I found the friendliness, warmth, energy, the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. This is extraordinary. This is unprecedented. Friends, as I told you, we have met a few times, and every time he has been the same warm, friendly, accessible, energetic, and full of wit. I admire him for something more. A sense of leadership, a passion for America, a concern for every American, a belief in American future, and a strong resolve to make America great again. And he has already made the American economy strong again. He has achieved much for the United States and for the world. Friends, we in India have connected well with President Trump. The words of candidate Trump, अब की बार ट्रम्प सरकार, rang loud and clear, and his celebration of Diwali in the White House lit up millions of faces. with joy and appreciation. When I met him for the first time, he said to me, India has a true friend in White House. Your presence here today is great testimony to that. In these years, our two nations have taken their relationship to new heights. Mr. President, this morning in Houston, you can hear the heartbeat of this great partnership in this celebration of the world's two largest democracies. You can feel the strength and depth of human bonds between our two great nations. People are at the heart of all relationships, from Houston to Hyderabad, from Boston to Bangalore, from Chicago to Shimla, from Los Angeles to Ludhiana, from New Jersey to New Delhi. Hundreds of millions are glued to their TV, even though it is rather late on a Sunday night in India. Millions around the world in different time zones are with us today. They are witnessing history in the making. Mr. President, you had introduced me to your family in 2017. And today, I have the honor to introduce you to my family. Over 1 billion Indians and people of Indian heritage around the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my friend, a friend of India, a great American president, Mr. Donald Trump.
Houston. I am so thrilled to be here in the great state of Texas with one of America's greatest, most devoted, and most loyal friends, Prime Minister Modi of India. Thank you. Thank you. And Prime Minister Modi is doing a truly exceptional job for India and for all of the Indian people. It is my immense privilege to be here with him today at this profoundly historic event. We're especially grateful to be joined by over 50,000 incredible members of our nation's thriving, prospering, flourishing, and hardworking Indian-American community. Thank you. Just a few months ago, in the largest democratic election in the history of our world, 600 million Indians went to the polls and voted overwhelmingly for Prime Minister Modi and his party. Congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister. That's a lot of people. Earlier this week, I understand you marked another important milestone. I know everyone here joins me in wishing you a very happy birthday. Happy birthday. I want to take a moment to address every resident of Houston affected by the recent horrible flooding. The entire American nation is standing by your side. We're ready. We love you. We support you. We will be there with you every single step of the way. I just left the Coast Guard hangar at Ellington Field Joint Reserve Base, where I was briefed on the Texas flooding. We're working with your great Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, Attorney General Ken Paxton, and Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz. Thank you very much. We're working hard together. My administration will not rest until you have fully recovered, restored, and rebuilt. And I know you will come back with the same tremendous spirit that we have shown every single time. Every time there's been a problem, it's called Houston Strong. Prime Minister Modi and I have come to Houston to celebrate everything that unites America and India, our shared dreams and bright futures. I've also come to express my profound gratitude to the nearly 4 million amazing Indian Americans all across our country. You enrich our culture. You uphold our values. You uplift our communities, and you are truly proud to be American, and we are proud to have you as Americans. We thank you, we love you, and I want you to know my administration is fighting for you each and every day. I want to recognize U.S. Ambassador to India, Kenneth Juster, and Minister Jaishankar Carr of India. Thank you very much. Thank you both. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're also proudly joined by NASA Deputy Administrator Jim Morehart, Deputy Secretary of Energy Dan Brouillette, Governor Matt Bevin of Kentucky, your State Attorney General Ken Paxton, a couple of very great senators. Kevin, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. We have a lot of senators. We have a lot of Congress people. There's Mr. Brady, Congressman Brady. He gave us a very, very nice tax cut, folks. Thank you, Kevin, very much. Thank you all for being here. Among the leaders here today for this remarkable celebration are many members of the House, Senate. They're all over the audience, including House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, and again, Senators Cornyn, Cruz. In my campaign for president, I promised all of that, if we were elected, India would have a true and great friend in the White House. And I can tell you, you have never had a better friend as president than President Donald Trump. That I can tell you. The Prime Minister knows that. On this day, I'm happy to report that the relationship between the United States and India is stronger than ever before. The ties between our two nations are grounded in our common values and our shared commitment to democracy. We are free nations with great faith and a fierce devotion to our national independence. We are governed by the rule of law, guided by commitment to justice, and strengthened by our love of liberty. Our two national constitutions both begin with the same three beautiful words: we the people. That means that in America and India alike, we honor, respect, trust, empower, and fight for the citizens we proudly serve. Under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, the world is witnessing a strong, sovereign, and thriving Republic of India. In a single decade, with the help of Prime Minister Modi's pro-growth reforms, India has lifted nearly 300 million people out of poverty. And that is an incredible number. Incredible. That's incredible. In the next decade, 140 million Indian households will rise to the middle class. In both India and the United States, we're seeing something really remarkable. Our people are prospering like never before because we are slashing bureaucracy and cutting job-killing red tape. In the United States, thanks to our massive tax cuts and all of our great senators and congressmen and women that are here today, and pro-worker policies, our economy is breaking one record after another. Since my election, we have created over 6 million new jobs. We have created over 750,000 jobs right here in Texas. And very importantly, that includes 70,000 new Texas manufacturing jobs. They said that couldn't be done. Unemployment, think of this, unemployment in Texas is currently at the lowest rate ever recorded in the history of our country. And unemployment in the United States has just reached the lowest level in over 51 years, and very soon we think that will be broken to be a historic number. Unemployment among African Americans, Asian Americans, and Hispanic Americans have all reached their lowest levels in the history of our country. Over the last 2 years, the unemployment rate among Indian Americans dropped by nearly 33 1/3%. Wages are rising, incomes are soaring, and inequality is falling at the fastest rate in many, many years. In the past 12 months alone, the average worker has taken home $1,000 extra in rising wages, and over $3,000 with tax cuts and all of the other things that we've done. And for the first time in history, most new hires of prime working age are minorities and women. First time that's ever happened. Through our pledge to America's workers, we have secured commitments for nearly 14 million employment and training opportunities for American workers done through our great American companies. We passed the biggest tax cuts and the biggest tax reforms in the history of our country. We slashed a record number of job-killing regulations, giving the average American household more than $3,000 every year. And never in the history of our country, no matter how long the presidency, have regulations been cut to this extent. Every day, the Indian American community is helping to strengthen our country and build our future. Indian Americans are pioneering groundbreaking medicines to save countless lives. They're developing revolutionary technology that is changing the world. And they're founding new businesses that provide jobs to thousands of our fellow citizens. Prime Minister Modi, I look forward to working with you to make our nations even more prosperous than ever before. And that's what's happening. The economic miracles taking place today are just beginning. Here in the United States, there has never been a better time to hire, invest, grow, and pursue your dreams. Indian companies employ tens of thousands of Americans across a range of industries, including American steel. In 2018, India's JSW Steel announced that it would invest up to $500 million to revitalize a shuttered steel plant in the great state of Ohio. And we welcome India's growing investments right here in the Lone Star State. Nations around the world are investing in the United States because they know we have the best economy and the best workers in the world. They have never invested in our country like they are today, and we want to thank everybody. And India has never invested in the United States like it is doing today. And I want to say it's reciprocal because we're doing the same thing in India. On Tuesday, two Japanese companies, Toyota and Ace, announced a combined investment of almost $800